Like, what have you taken from dance outside of dancing, like your relationships and your life, and what are the lessons that you've learned from your journey and what dance can give you to outside of that into relationships? Because I think relationships are
Yeah.
what we really are here for, to connect with people.
Mm,
So what have you learned from that
nice.
to what have you learned from that from dance, I would say?
Many things. I think it's actually a really nice question, and I'm going to keep thinking about it even
Mm,
after I try to answer it right now. Um, the first word that comes to my mind is empathy.
mm,
Um, it's something I have, in fact, scolded people for. I don't like being the person to say, you have no empathy, but I have to put my hands up and say at a certain point in my life, I have said that to, to a person and to a couple of people, because it's something that I realize that I really do live by. Uh,
mm,
and it kind of goes back to what I was saying with when we talked about teaching a little bit. You're kind of gauging what's going on, and
mm,
I'm not forcing myself to. I don't recommend anyone does. It can be quite exhausting, but just it should be an innate thing that you're within yourself, but you're aware of what's going on around you, and that in relationships, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I need to say how important
mm,
that is. And seeing everything from multidimensional angles, every person is what you see them as. And then I know for a fact that I'm so different around different people. So
mm,
no one, probably very few people know the full spectrum of me. Maybe even they don't know. Maybe even I don't know. So how do I expect that I know someone,
mm,
or everyone in my life? And you have to give that room and accept that if I'm on this journey, just because I've made my life such a physical one and a research based, a soul searching one, because of my career and my own personal spiritual decisions, not everyone is in the same place as me. And let me enter their space and see where they are, and what's holding them back, and what's their story, what's their
mm,
backstory. Always ask, what's the backstory? No one's just the way they are because they felt like it,
mm,
very rarely. So opening up to the multi-dimensions of being, and everyone having that aspect to them, and even if they've not discovered it, you might learn something about someone faster than them. And whether you're their friend, you're their partner, they might be your parents. Oh god, that's a really interesting one. Learning about your elders, parents. When I say parents, I maybe because of my own life I generalize it. I think of my aunts as my parents as well,
mm,
because they've been there for a long time. So parental figures or mentors or whatever, you learn things about them if you're willing to, because you're on your own journey and you see them, and they might have never realized those things about themselves. And how do you kind of gently invite them to understand this in themselves? Or because I was reading something the other day about don't don't destroy people with your words. And I think that can happen in close
mm,
relationships where you just say things without thinking, without a filter, which is great. It should be honest. But also, how far do you take that? Um, nothing is worth destroying. If you're going to destroy their kind of integrity or their self-worth by saying certain things to them, then that's clearly not the right way to be saying it to them. In the same
mm,
way, if I'm dancing and I'm giving something very aggressively, I'm trying to make a point aggressively, I've not really made my point.
mm,
It needs to People learn if it happens through flow. It needs to be it's not always going to happen. It's just never, life is not that easy. But trying to get things to be explained and delivered seamlessly is the biggest challenge, but the one you should aim for,
mm,
with people. And yeah, understanding them. You can't be selfish.
mm,
You see when people are selfish on stage, you see people when they're selfish in reality, and it's not something people want to see.
mm,
It's not ideal, is it?
mm.
So, but I'm not judging. It's just an awareness, and then you hope for them to realize it in themselves and get on into a
Yeah.
better way.
Thank you for that. That's a few things that just came up to my head about the honesty thing that you said. Like I hear that a
Mm,
lot, like people saying that, oh, I'm just honest, right? Like for example, for example, you have a lovely necklace, but if I didn't like your necklace, right? Like,
Yeah.
if I was like, oh yeah, like I'm being honest, why are you wearing that? You know, like that's just
Mm.
you're being honest, but you're not being kind. And I think like being
Yeah.
kind is so
Yeah.
much more important than being right. And I think my guru says that as well. And I think
Yeah.
in we say the word vivek, right, in Gujarati, about like discerning, about choosing the right things at the right time. You know, and I have to
Yeah.
really, I've been working, really practicing when to say something and when to shut my mouth, because
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
say my mom's in a really good mood and I got something to say to her. Why? It can wait till tomorrow. It's not that important. Let it be okay. Then
Yeah.
tomorrow, you know, like, and I think that's really important,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
to be self-aware, and
Mm.
compassionate, like you said, empathy, like being compassionate, being full of love.
Mm.
And, you know,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it can't be faked, you know, and I think that's something that's to be genuine.